Okay, so the seal is now installed, the dust boot is in there. We just want to always run your finger around there, make sure it's in the groove properly. If it's not completely seated in that groove, you're going to have a real hard time getting the piston in. So now the trick is, because the boot is in the caliper and the piston is not, we've got to get the piston into the caliper, and we basically have to put it through the boot. So a couple different ways you could try this possibly, but we're going to use compressed air. That's our method. So we're going to take a blowgun here that I have. I've got this dialed down to about 40 psi. I just find it's a lot more controllable with about 40 psi. And I'm going to hold the piston up against the dust boot, trying to create a seal there, while at the same time putting 40 psi or thereabouts, just slowly throttling the trigger on here to get some air pressure in there, and try to blow it up like a balloon. And basically, like that. We wanted to inflate the dust boot so the piston can be shoved through the dust boot, and now we just got to slide it into the bore, and as we squeeze it in there, you can see the boot dropped into the groove, and we can finish this up by just putting it all the way into the bottom of the bore. And that is a done caliper on that one. Okay? So now we can go back to talking about the one with the pressed in one. This one's a lot simpler because, as you saw before, we just the boot installed onto the piston, and now we've got the piston in the bore. All I need to do now is press the piston further down in the bore, and I'll just use a hammer to force it down in there a little bit, and I get it down like that, and I'm just stopping about at that point in time. And then I can take a driver, and this happens to be a special driver that fits the diameter of that dust boot, and this is the one again with the steel backing ring, and so now I can just pound that in, making sure it's seated all the way. Just again, have a quick look, run your finger around it if need be, make sure it's in there all the way. And then again, I can finish just bottoming the piston out in the bore with a hammer handle if I need to. And again, that's a completed caliper reassembly for the type with the pressed in.